Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. We finally made it to the last episode of season 4 of Dark Side of the Ring. I am Katrina, host and creator of In Cat We Trust, and I am here with my tag partner. We're everybody's favorite duo. Shay, how are you today?
Today's been a pretty decent day. I can't lie. I had some yogurt, which I shouldn't have, but I did. So, good day.
Yeah, it was. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. Had a bit of a busy day, but and it's been a bit of a hectic week. However, I am happy to be here. We finally made it to the final episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which was The World According to Marty Jannetty. And so I did read that this was the lowest viewed episode, I think, of the season, like the lowest ratings, and I'm not really sure why. It was the low. I don't know if it's because it was Marty Jannetty or people always just like, okay, we're over it. Like, I'm just curious, but apparently this was the lowest rated episode of the season. But yeah, what were your initial thoughts about this episode?
I'm actually shocked. Like, honestly, this was hilarious. Like, what do you mean? The lowest? This one had me on the floor. I'm so sorry. Not, what was it? MJ in the house. Now, why are they doing him like that? Why would they do him like that? That is not right. Oh my God. You know what? Y'all just proving y'all just like all that depressing stuff. Y'all like to be sad. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised. And not that, some of what Marty was kind of like, oh man, because, it was a lot going on. But I was surprised because I'm like, yeah, ones we were getting the other 8 episodes where it was kind of like a lot really sad, really depressing. This wasn't one of those. And so I was surprised by that as well. I'm guessing people want to be sad. I needed a little pick me up after, last week we were pretty okay with that, luckily, with an episode that wasn't too sad. It was like a bunch of nonsense, but it wasn't sad. So yeah, so the first like few minutes kind of shows like an opening preview as Dark Side Ring always does, where they show little opening clips, I guess, about the person, and it kind of showed some clips of Shawn Michaels. And it didn't really make Shawn Michaels look his best. And granted, we all know, Shawn Michaels was the guy who opened up the door for Katrina into wrestling, and he was big. He definitely was. However, I think we are all aware as wrestling fans that Shawn Michaels could definitely have been an asshole back in the day. He clearly was one. He clearly did a lot of shit, and so it doesn't make him look great. Also, it kind of implied that Marty Jannetty might have murdered somebody. That was kind of said in the little preview. And so I'm like, oh, okay, Marty. I mean, I heard this before. I definitely did during the quarantine on
Yeah.
his crazy rant on his Facebook, and that's the first time I actually heard that. And I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, did you like? Are we just bragging? Like, this is what we doing? So, I think maybe he did, but and so Marty does welcome the camera crew into his house and introduces himself as one of the rockers from back in the day. Marty is currently in a wheelchair, and his right leg or foot kind of looked like really swollen. I believe he said his pain things at 12, and from somebody who has chronic illness and have a chronic pain condition, a lot of the times when it's a bad day, my definitely goes past a 10, and usually I'll say 11 or 12. And so that I kind of understood. I'm like, oh, it must be bad if you're hitting over the 10. Like, that's always like really bad. And so I was like, oh man, well, that kind of sucks. I mean, I have my own thing, but that was kind of, unfortunate. So they talked to Al Snow, and he said he was been a professional wrestler for like 41 years. And he said he was Marty Jannetty's partner in the, New Rockers, and that's when Marty originally hurt his ankle. And then you can kind of see in Survivor Series 1996 where his ankle kind of got rolled. You can kind of see it. And apparently that injury got worse over the years. And then they speak to Leland McCluskey, who was an orthopedic surgeon that knew Marty Jannetty since he was in high school. Apparently, same class, they played football, and he deals with foot and ankle surgery. And then we also talked to somebody who works with shoulders. I think his name is George. And he said that most people have like that one issue, but apparently Marty had 6 or 7 things happening, and his dearly pain again was a 12, and that was a good day, which again has to really freaking suck. Um, Marty then says his ankles were bound to go. He had like a joint replacement on the right and reconstructive on the left. He said he talks about he showed the bumps he took with the rockers, and then both his shoulders are really messed up. And then I think George says he remember Marty being like aggressive. Football player. I was focused more on sports than school, which I'm not really surprised. And Marty tells a story about being in chemistry class and mixing two chemicals together. Uh, and he said he did something because he just wanted to see why. I just he just wanted to know what was going to happen, and then wanted apparently a girl next to him was knocked by a few feet from the reaction, and it blew out a window. And then that's kind of what the supposedly the story is that Marty tried to like blow up the lab. And so there was somebody who said she's known Marty for 40 years named Karen Walker, who says can't believe 99% of what Marty says. It says he comes up with the strangest things, and he's telling you a story that's likely not true. So before I continue, what were your thoughts on that information that we found out?
Why? See, when he said the whole, he didn't say why. Why does somebody have to tell you why? Why can't you just take someone at face value when they say don't do it? Why they gotta explain to you why? That's scary, Marty. That's real scary. You should just take someone at face value when they say don't do it. You shouldn't have to explain why. That is crazy. Do I believe it? I don't know, because I feel like maybe he would have got kicked out of school. I just feel like that's like something somebody would have got kicked out of school for. Did he say he got kicked out of school? If he said he was able to go back, I feel like that's a lie, because if you blowing up the whole school room, plus you injuring another student, I feel like you would be expelled. Like, I've heard people be expelled for less. So I don't know. I really don't know. I feel bad about the ankles. Like, when he showed, he's like, oh no, like that is terrible. I feel so bad. Like, he was just giving good energy though. Like, I can't lie. Like, when he came in, he said MJ in the house. I was like, okay, you're giving energy. Like, I liked it. He was giving energy. That's all I have to say. Like, the energy was there. I appreciated it. Like, that's it. Like, I like the energy. That's it.
Yeah, I get, like I said, I remember quite a few of his posts during 2020 when I guess we were all stuck at home, and somebody would just randomly share a post, and I'm like, what are you talking? Like, it was always just pure shenanigans, and I never understood. Like, I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, and so it got to a point where people would laugh at it because it was just like, well, what is this? Like, I don't even know where you're going with this. And so have the lady said you can't really ever be sure if he's saying is true. It's like you just lie about everything. Like that makes it hard. I hate when a person lies that much because it's like, what is the truth? It's like, how much are you going to tell us that's correct if you're sitting here like lying, or people's like, I don't know, Marty might not be telling the truth in this story. Um, and so he didn't tell a story about hookers, and he used that word apparently. Uh, Gave him freebies at 13 because they thought he was cute. And then I'm like, okay. And then he said supposedly Donald Trump came up to him and complimented one of the pretty girls he had on his arm. And then he mentioned something about attending a sex addiction clinic and then dating the counselor. Uh, and then that's when Karen kind of mentions that he did have a nice side, but most people never got to see that. And then Marty talks about getting beat by his mom, and then he would hide it from his dad so the parents wouldn't fight. And then the mean Mike Moran, who's just one half of disorderly conduct from WCW, said that Marty did have a really rough upbringing as a child. And he said that Marty did love his dad, but his dad wasn't there as much. And so Marty, being an athlete, kind of helped him get out of Columbus. Um, and then he mentions he was trained by Jerry Oates and worked as Marty Oates in the Mid South. And he kind of jumped interstate to Kansas City, and he was, you know, he's paired with the shy, quiet kid that Marty calls nerdy, and this is clearly Shawn Michaels. And he was put in charge to show Shawn the ropes, and they was paired as a team. And they had the really crazy chemistry, which wound up leading to AWA. NWA as the Midnight Rockers. And so then you see Pat Tanaka, and he's talking about being part of Bad Company, that they had the rivalry with the Rockers and AWA, British Beefcake. And we're gonna eventually get to the the barbershop thing. And so it's like you know Marty goes through the window, and then you hear Misty Beefcake, Brutus's wife, and she says she joked about wanting to seeing Marty, I guess, naked to see what was going on. I was just like, okay, that was that was a little much, ma'am. I was like, oh, all right. And then she said, Karen said that women loved him, and they hooked up the first night they met, and now she's his forever wifey. And he said every time he went to St. Louis, he would see her. And then when the producer asked if she was his girlfriend, he said for St. Louis, which is insane. It's insane that that's how he looked at that. And then they talk about the Midnight Rockers having a crazy bloody brawl in AWA, which gets Vincent Man attention, and they bring the Rockers into WWF, WWE. And then he said Marty tells the story of them getting fired on the first day. They had stock footage of comments from Sean so he knows they had great times. And then the Rockers were out with with the boys. They liked to party, et cetera, et cetera. And Jack Funk wanted to see them party, so glasses got broken. They got kicked out of the bar, and because of that, Vince fired them the very next day, which is insane that you guys came right on in with the shenanigans. And then that happens. And then they said Marty was saying they spent about a week in WWF officially, and he kept referring to himself as MJ, and he said God's amusement toy, as he kept saying he had awful luck. And then so he said something about God gets bored and throws some bolts of lightning at him. And then Al Snow said he knows about it and said it's Marty not accepting any responsibility or accountability. And then Moran also said he believed that Marty had bad luck, but a lot of his issues was because of him, and that Al Snow also said that Marty was his own worst enemy. And so the Rockers head to Continental, and then after a year, they get another call back to WWF. And Tanaka said, if you have talent, you will get a lot of chances back then. And Tanaka talks about apparently there was a party, like this party with like models and strippers, and then that Marty fired a pistol to wake him up. And then he apparently shot his car and blamed Tanaka for trying to sleep and caused him to fire off the gun, which makes absolutely no sense. And then Marty said that him and Sean were like brothers, said they partied together a lot, had a lot of women together. Apparently, I don't know if it's more of a like they just happen to share women. So I don't know what that meant when he said it, because I'm like the way that was worded, that could have been a really weird. I don't know if he meant like there was like orgy happening, or was it like they just slept with the same person at different times. I don't know what that means. It was the way it's really hard. So what are your thoughts about those parts of the story before we continue?
When he was at the podium and he said, "Yeah," see me when I hear "Yeah," I'm thinking like, Marty, what does any of this have to do with a fat ass? Because that when I hear "Yeah," that's GYAT, yeah. But he was saying "Yeah," as in God's amusement toy. Where did he come up with that? Like, what is this? He was at the podium. I'm like, why we at a church and why you at a podium saying this? What are we doing? What is going on? He is so, like, he seems like he'd be really fun to hang out with for like maybe 2 hours tops. And then you have to pull back for your own safety. Why are we shooting because somebody want to sleep? That's I don't want to say, but like that's a little much. It's a little much. And he tell too much business. Why are you saying if y'all was doing whatever y'all was doing with them girls, that's for you? Why are you telling all that? Oh my God, what if he don't want people to know that? Like, you telling all the business. Hold up. Like, I didn't want to know that. Like, see, that's too much for me. I didn't even want to know that. So now I'm just uncomfortable. Why are you in the bar? The bar is for drinking. It's not for throwing glasses. Why are you breaking the glass? You hear they try to start. Why are you breaking glasses over your head? And why you bit the bottle of what? This is weird ways to party. See, me when I party is standing in the corner holding a virgin drink, shimmying. And that's how I
Not
party.
the shimmy. The shimmy, you know.
I'll be breaking stuff. I don't understand, but honestly, like Marty, like what is up with him? He is too much. And everybody's talking about undressing him with your. You gotta know what he. Oh my god! It felt like every second I went into the episode, I was like, the whole episode was TMI, like TMI. Because why do I need to know this?
No, apparently they had a lot of fun. It's it was a lot. I'm like, oh my god. I know we didn't need, like, I know they were wild, but I didn't really need to know. Like, that's a lot to know. You know, we don't have to know every detail. Um, and so they talk about an incident in 1990. Marty gives a jobber named Chuck Austin the rock dropper and apparently broke his neck. Um, Austin apparently told Marty he knew how to take it, and then you kind of see the grainy footage of the incident, and said Marty says the kid stood up and drove straight down into the ring, which broke his neck. And then Tanaka kind of backs up, you know, that it was the Chuck who kind of took the move wrong, and it was nasty looking. And then Marty said he can tell he was injured and told Sean, and he said he came off top and didn't even touch the guy because he knew he was hurt. He said they got the pin and got out to the back. And then he said, you know, Chuck had to be taken out on the helicopter to the hospital. And he said that he messed with him for a bit because he was, you know, caused that. And then you see the story get picked up by the media. We see footage of Chuck doing the TV interviews. And he said that Marty told him he would protect him. And then Chuck sued for $10 million. And they had the jury watch the incident, which freaked them out. And then they said that Dean Malenko apparently came to tell you that he can take the move properly, but the jury didn't care. And he said, Marty said it was the worst thing as a wrestler, as you want them to cheer or boo. And then he said that the jury came back with the verdict in 20 minutes. And then they found that the death was found 90% negligent, Austin 5%, and Marty 5%. And so they gave Chuck $24 million. And then Marty said he jumped up and said he was going to say he was suing for 10, but the lawyer told him to sit and they will appeal. And then they go through the process and settle on the 10 million. Marty has to pay 5% of it. So it's like taken out of his royalty checks for a biff. And so they said that apparently the case against Sean is this. Sean is dismissed because he had nothing to do with it. And then that's when Marty said, you know, Sean just happened to have this luck that he can step in, you know, he said he step in shit and come out smelling like roses. And then Cameron kind of said, you know, she's not a fan of Shawn Michaels, said he was a bit egotistical. And then she said, the Heartbreak Kid isn't a gimmick. It really is Sean. And then Marty says that was his brother and he was always good to him. And then that's when they start talking about the issues as far as Marty having more of a drug problem than Shawn Michaels. Apparently, that's what was said. And then Al Snow lists all the drugs that he knew he did, which was crack, somas, cocaine. He just something called Howl. And Karen said she see him took that a lot and found on the floor pills everywhere. And then she said she called Sean. He told her not to call anyone. And then Sean and Snooker took Marty and threw him in the shower. And she was a bit shocked because she thought he was going to die then. And then she said that Marty and Sean got into a fight in a hotel. Marty came out drunk, cursed out Sean, and then Sean hit him, and then he pushed him through a window. And they were on the bottom floor. So, and I guess now the whole him getting kicked in the window kind of seemed to be more like, oh, okay, clearly this is a pattern between the two of you guys, because apparently he did it in real life, I guess, before that. And so Marty said, you know, that, you know, he thinks Sean would have done it again. I guess if they had it, they head outside and start fighting again. And then this time Marty is choking Sean. And then he said that should never happen. And then Sean was the one left bleeding. And then Vince knew they had to split the team up. And Marty said they need to talk first, but Sean was all for it. And then Vince, you know, saw Sean as the future star. Didn't really sit up for Marty. And then it said Karen and Mike take some shots. But I, you know, again, let's be real. I say this all the time. Like, Marty, you're cool, but you're not Sean. I don't like, see, I saw Sean for the first time. I'm like, oh yes, what is this? And so I'm like, are we playing this game like you don't really know, sis? Like, you Let's not lie. Like that. And then obviously again Vince knew he was what he's talking about. And then said Mike said that Sean might have been in his ear, and that
He said some other stuff too. He ain't say
that yeah. And so they talking about like if he didn't go with it, they would have had Marty probably lose his job, so they had to do the split. And it also kind of talks about, Sean was getting a little bit more full of himself, and obviously now they wasn't even the same page in matches. And then you see the WWF magazine where you see Sean slap Marty, and then now we get to the barbershop. And so Beefcake said he didn't know what was going to happen, and then Marty tells Sean he can leave the team, but if they shake hands, they can continue with the team. Sean spins obviously to shake his hand, and then obviously super kicks Marty through the through the glass. And then Marty said he kicked him so hard he didn't feel the glass. And then it says Sean, the whole tossing his head first, and it's supposed to be one of the greatest tag team splits of all time. And then Mike was like, the fans didn't see it happening and they didn't want it to happen. And then just obviously after that, we can kind of tell you what happened with that. So what are your thoughts on that part?
I mean, I was just shocked that Marty was shocked that Sean wanted to be after. If you telling me what preface y'all breaking up was you almost killing this man, why are we confused? And also, it feels like Marty was a little bit more of the more unhinged one in this. So what did? Because I'm not trying to hear. I don't feel like he just came in and did that. What did you do before that made him match your unhingery to walk in there and push you out the window? What did you do? You leaving something out? Because I just don't think he just would just walk up in there and do that. Because you is definitely the one that is a little bit more wilding out. Why would somebody just walk in and push you out the window? What did you do? I'm sorry. What did you do for him to get to that point to push you out a window that you was not on the first floor? Because you said you wasn't on the first floor. He was willing to be like, whatever happens, happens. What did you do? I'm sorry, but that's crazy. He just came in one day and pushed me out the window. Yeah, okay. Like, come on now. Stop it. And then you talk about he turning purple, bleeding all everywhere. You covered in blood. Of course we're breaking up. What's wrong with you? Of course we're breaking up. What's wrong with you? Let's keep crazy. And you talk about, I don't know if he was in his ear or his ass. What are you trying to say? And honestly, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered where he was at. It's Shawn Michaels. That's like, it's undeniable. He was going to be what he was regardless because it's Shawn Michaels. It don't matter. He didn't have to be a nothing, period. Like, that's crazy. You trying to like put it on, but he was doing this and he was kissing ass. It don't matter. It's Shawn Michaels. He was going to get there regardless. Maybe it would have took a bit longer, but he was going to get there regardless. I don't understand what you was trying to get at with that. That was driving me nuts. Because you trying to say, you was trying to like roundabout ways say, only this and this and this because of this and this. It's Shawn Michaels. He would have got there regardless. Like, that was driving me nuts. I don't know. And then, I don't know, did Shawn like tell Vince? Because the window thing, like, was it like a metaphor? Was it like a, some type of thing he just wanted to say, like, this is when I knew I was breaking up with you, so let's recreate that. Wow.
I'm like, you really dead ass did life right.
That threw me off. I was like, this is deep. This goes deep. Marty, you cool though. Again, Marty seems like he's cool. You can hang out with him for maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 if you pushing it like that, and it'll be a fun time. Just don't go over it. Don't go over it.
No, I don't know. I think you give him a lot more time than I would give him. I feel like I would probably give an hour, and I'm like, all right, my guy, you're a little too much for me. We don't need to do all that. Let me put my charger in. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say "got" all over again. I'm sorry, I'll just be saying that now. Like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow. Like, what?
Oh man. And
And
so,
also the jury, like I feel bad about that because I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. Uh-uh. Damn.
I mean, I guess they already had to pay more of it. So, I mean, like, it sucks, but I don't even know. I guess this is one of those situations you can really sue anybody because I don't even know why Sean got sued. He wasn't even rigged when it happened. I'm just like, why is he getting sued for this? He wasn't even the one who was involved in that whole sequence. And so I'm glad they dropped it because I'm just like, I get Sean was an asshole, but come on, guys. That's one of
Yeah,
those situations that you sue everybody, like, or you just sue everybody and hope something sticks.
I'm
Why was
surprised
Sean even on that lawsuit?
who people in the audience get sued. Listen, why was he shot talking about, oh, I don't know how he just got off. Of course he got off. He didn't do anything. It was already done. What are you talking about? Of course he got off. Like, what? That'd been crazy. What are you suing him for? Being there within 5 feet of it?
What he was like talking about. And so Sean said that Marty was upset and said what was going to happen to me. And then Sean was like, they're both going to be singles and they were going to get judged on what they do from there. He told Marty if he gets over it, they will use him. And he said, Al says Marty kind of resented Sean and that Sean wanted to get away from Marty so he can climb the ladder. And so they said Marty apparently was a stripper and a cop found a bag of cocaine on him. He did 6 months of house arrest. Then they have a video of Marty in India riding a cop's motorcycle into a hotel. He crashed into a guy and then that sent him into a water fountain. And then the guy yelled high spot while filming the incident or whatever. And Al kind of said that Marty and I guess Sheik were probably the record for being fired and brought back the most times. And then it says they talk about the new rockers and Marty wasn't into that. And Al said Snowden said he didn't blame him. And then, Marty thought it was poking fun at what he did with Sean. And something Sean had Vince do that to Marty to humiliate him. And then he said he knew it was time to leave, so he went to WCW. And Al Snow mentions that WCW had plans for him, but because Marty had several DUIs and he lost his license for 10 years, his contract was up and that was it. And then obviously we see Shawn Michaels become the main event star in WWF. And apparently that devastated Marty Jannetty. And then she said, Karen said Marty will put pictures of Shawn on dartboards and throw darts at him. And then apparently he spiraled for 5 years before he really hit rock bottom. And then he said he did cocaine until his heart burst and he said God gave him a sign. And then he said his phone rang with Shawn and he invited Marty to the Athletes International Ministry in Arizona. And that was the first time they talked in years. And then he got baptized by Shawn Michaels. And then he lived a pure life for 3 weeks, apparently only. And now they want the Rocker reunion. And so in 2005, the Rockers reunite, and Marty is nervous that people forgot him. And then Shawn told him, they're Rockers, nobody will forget. The crowd popped, obviously. And WWE was impressed and offered him a contract for over $1 million. However, Marty was in jail a week later, which I'm just like, okay, my guy, like, come on, you had like so many chances. So he said he was in a fight with the wife, which is a stripper, and then the wifey or whatever, and the neighbors called the cops. And because he was in probation already, he was arrested, and then there goes his contract with WWE. So they were saying that Marty did have a habit of when he was doing drugs, he would hang out with strippers. And then he said that, he can't be shot, I guess, when it bit him in the ass. And then, Marty said, Vince said he had a black cloud following him. And then Karen kind of said the same thing. And then they talk about, Karen says that, his health was poor. He was alone. Beefcake said Marty tried to wrestle shows with a bad ankle and thought that was crazy. And then this is when we talk about the Facebook post, because these are the things I was remembering, where it was like Marty, apparently, because he was housebound, he would put, posts about not being racist, having 13 black daughters, and his cocaine habit. And then people were saying he clearly, fed off those reactions from people. And then the producer asked about his daughter, and then he said he was hacked and he never even saw the posts. And then he said that she didn't deserve that, and neither did he. And then Al Snow, I think, questioned what is Marty doing, and said there was a lot of moments where it was like, uh, a lot of holy shit moments. And then we see the claim that Marty said he made a man disappear. He said on Twitter when he was 13. And then you get some footage from Brian Alvarez and Weston Gerber, and then that it was being investigated. And then Marty said it was an accidental death. So what were your thoughts
Why? You know what?
on that?
It's like one of those things where it's like, you know what? If it entertains him, that is his little fun, sure. Just calm down. Like he be taking it to the extreme. I after this episode, I'm like, I really like. I'm never gonna be like whatever he says. It could be the most crazy thing. I'm like, I'll just let him do it. He just need to get it out of his system. Just let him do it. He's just saying stuff. He just got to say his stuff, and it's entertaining. That helps him. Like whatever helps him. Like he could say it's yeah, whatever, but he was getting in his way a lot. Like, why did you get that? Why did you need to take that man's cycle? You took that cop's little motorcycle to ride it into. What told you to go into the hotel? What told you to go into the water fountain? What made you do that? Why would you do that? And why are you hanging out with strippers? You just got this good ass deal from WWE. Chill out. You can't chill out for a week? Me, I'm chilling. I don't understand. He's an interesting soul, I will say. I don't know. MJ in the house. I don't know. This is something. Like, what is going on? What is going on? I need to know. Like, he just be saying stuff. He really, really do. Like, it's really funny. He make me want to go ahead and reactivate my Facebook. I'm not. But he makes me want to. But I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. This episode, I don't understand. I'm still like really shocked that this is like lowest rate. Like this was crazy. I didn't see these comments here the whole time. This is actually scary. UPR, you are never seeing heaven for this. Cause I know,
right? I'm now looking at the comments. You guys, okay, I just want to say we did not know. We cannot see that you guys were on the comments. StreamYard is doing us real dirty today because we are now seeing y'all have been talking this whole time, and I feel terrible. So let me go answer some of these comments because I feel crazy. I'm so sorry, guys. We feel so crazy right now. What is up, Corey? Hey, thanks for coming, Andy. Hey, what is up? Yes, this whole I feel so crazy right now because we didn't see any of the comments. Why it just popped up like surprise happens. This is what just happened. Yes, this episode was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And then I'm just like not teeth. Oh my god, I don't know. Like the fact that,
I think I said teeth eater. I said he eat teeth. He put that on Facebook. He eat teeth. That's what I thought it said at first.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, we try to go through the comments. Yes, that's what we were saying. That whole segment is like clearly this clearly there was some foreshadowing, and as Shay did say so eloquently, nobody's pushing people through windows unless you did some shit. Because I personally, I feel like that's a serious thing. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. We're like really trying to catch up in the comments. Oh my god.
I thought we were just here, just vibing, talking. Y'all been here the whole
time. Oh my god, yo, I feel like something like this is got us looking real crazy right now. StreamYard got us looking real crazy on a Friday. Like this is not it's not even cool, dude.
You are never seen heaven. You are never.
And then, yeah, we obviously got this is, it just obviously, this is where Vince got the idea.
This is sick.
Obviously, this thing got us looking real crazy.
And Karen was sitting there
Just
lying with him. Karen was sitting there lying with him. He just came in the room, pushed him out the window.
oh my god, like, oh man, like I don't know. He just oh man, sorry guys, we had to catch up with y'all comments. We don't listen. StreamYard had us looking real crazy, and so they now tell the story when he made the guy disappear. He said at 13, someone tried to rape him, and so the police went to his house. And Marty said supposedly this is the story he told to get people to leave him alone. And so the producers tell the story hypothetically. And he said he takes the camera crew to the bowling alley and said when he was 13, the guy who worked at the desk sold weed out of his car. He got to the car. The guy put his hands on Marty's crotch. Marty smacked him and they started fighting. And then he got Marty down and was on top, trying to unbutton his pants. Marty grabs a rock, hit the guy in the temple, and he didn't know what to do. So he got a family member and they don't call the police. They dumped the body in the nearby river. And he said that was a hypothetical story and a story to get back into wrestling. And then he did say supposedly what happened in the car was true, but the rest is all a story. And then he says they did do a missing person but never found the body. And then there was supposedly the statement from the Columbus Police Department was there was no evidence of murder connected cold case of missing persons concerning his allegation. So then they say Al Snow was afraid that Marty was going to be alone. Brutus made a joke about he loves Marty but wants him to keep his hands off his wife. And then she said a joke about flashing Marty Jannetty on camera, but she was mic'd up.
I like their vibe. You know, they was kind of chill. My thing is, whoever knows Marty and you could get contact with him, tell him to make a Twitch because I'm pulling up. Because these stories is real good. Like, I'm telling you, tell him make a Twitch. I'm pulling up. I'm not kidding. I hear the stories. This is entertaining. And he talking about y'all worried about this instead of this. Marty, nobody was worried about either until you said something on your Facebook. You shouldn't have said nothing. What is going on with you? But make the Twitch. I'm telling you, I want to hear the stories. He could do a little campfire.
I remember those Facebook posts because I used to be cracking up. I used to be cracking up with his posts on Facebook. I'm like, what are you talking about today, dude? Like, just on one. Like, what are you talking about? So I don't know. Like, I'm like, if somebody did throw him in the river, like, hypothetically, like, I just feel like you spoke that story a little too well. So I don't know. It's like, he could be lying, but, like, why would you have a hypothetical story? That's such an odd thing to do. I'm a writer, and I wouldn't do that. I feel like, as somebody who literally can make up some shit, fiction-wise, I wouldn't think that like that's a crazy thing to make up. I don't know. So I don't know. I wouldn't do that as a writer.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And then I think then Al Snow mentions that nobody wanted or said jokingly nobody wants to be Marty of the team. And he says you will be lucky if you were. And then they were saying there was no Shawn Michaels without, the level he got to without Marty Jannetty. And then Marty said he loved Shawn Michaels to death. And then there were 7 years of great friendship and have been great again since that phone call. And said they only had one fight in the 7 years of being together 24/7. So that's not bad. And then they showed an old video from Marty saying he didn't dump a guy in the river. And he said one of his friends dumped him in the woods, poured gas on him. And then Al Snow said that's the story he told in the 90s. And Karen said that was the one story he told that she believed was true. And she said that Marty told her that a long time ago. She could tell when he's lying. And then Marty says something about, he ain't going to give anyone else. We need to look through the smoke and mirrors. So personally, I mean, this is it was not bad. This was basically, I think Marty, again, for somebody who, again, like, I feel like when people say nobody wants to be the Marty, like, Al Snow could say he was joking, but she wasn't joking. I feel like everybody knows when you say you are the Marty Jannetty of the group, I feel like everybody knows what that means. And sometimes and it kind of sucks that you have to accept that. But I feel like there's always that one member of the group you're like, I don't know. Like, why are you here? No, sometimes there's certain tag teams where I'm like, maybe both of you. I'm like, what are we doing? I don't think we need any one of you, but that's just me being me. There's definitely a couple of teams I would, say, but I won't because I ain't trying to hear get no DMs about what teams I feel like we don't really need this tag team. There's a few.
That's why when the whole JC and Gigi thing happened and they tried to like make it seem like the same thing, and she hit on Gigi, I said, Gigi, get up! No, whoa! I said, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. I'm sorry. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, we're not doing that today.
I thought they were trying to do that, and personally, they weren't. Like, I don't feel like they were popular enough to try to replay that storyline with Sean and like, you know what I mean? I feel like you can tell Sean, you can tell that he was going to be, before that happened. And I feel like who the hell part of them was sitting here like, ooh, we can't wait to see what you about to do. Nobody was saying that. Hey, but yeah, it definitely, it was definitely a wild episode. And yes, like I said, half his Facebook posts every time. I was like, what is he like going on about? And I would just laugh like for the day because it was just like craziness.
That is girl.
And I think it made it worse because we were all stuck at home during quarantine. But otherwise, it was definitely an off the wall kind of episode. I feel like, I guess, him telling, I guess the episode being called The World According to Marty Jannetty might be off the fact that he told a lot of lies to people. And maybe that's what they meant by the title. Like, he's not, he kind of just talking pure shenanigans right now. So, whatever. But yeah, that was the basis of the episodes. It was a pretty solid episode. It was a lot more. And like, it was parts that was clearly like, damn, you kind of sad, but also there was parts like, dude, what? Like the whole getting thrown out the window. I feel like, again, you have to. I feel like if I'm doing that, there's a reason I'm doing that. I feel like that's a bit extra, to want to be throwing people out windows just because. But yeah. Right. It was a solid episode overall. What were your final thoughts on the episode?
I feel the same way because that's your brother. Why your brother just woke up today and decided, let me just walk up on you and throw you out the window? That's not possible, Marty. What happened? What did you do? I really want to know. Anyways, think about that switch. The whole episode, it was very funny. It wasn't supposed to be funny. It's not funny, but it cracked me up. I'm not gonna lie. It was very ridiculous. MJ in the house. The gap. I'm sorry, I can't. That is like, why? I can't. I'm sorry because that is really interesting that he really said that. Like, that's very interesting to me, Marty. Very interesting. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say I don't want to say I wish him the best or like, I just hope he's doing all right or just like chill out. Like, I don't know what to say because like there's a lot of things that he said. Like, I'm just like, I don't know how to respond. I don't know if I have to say wish him well or if he's all right. But you know what? I enjoyed the episode. Is what I'll say. Yeah. I think that was that WCW episode was kind of interesting. You know what? Yep, this is definitely my favorite episode. I don't care what the ratings was. I don't care about that stuff. Okay? I watch NXT. I don't care about the ratings. All right? I care about the quality. That's it. So I enjoyed it. That was interesting. I'm sad that it's over, but that was a great way to end it. And Darkseid, he was being shady with that. What do you mean, according to him?
Shady. I'm telling you, I think they think he was bullshitting, and it was like, you know what? We're gonna, according to Marty, this is what it is, guys. Because everybody apparently said he bullshitted a lot, and like,
he said someone threw out a window for no reason. Like, yeah, I already knew what.
Hypothetical story, like about murdering somebody to get back into wrestling. Like, what is this? We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Like, I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know. But yeah, they definitely was being funny with according to, because clearly this is what he's saying. Um, listen, because we dead ass was like, oh, are we like dry today? I really was thinking like
I was like,
maybe
damn, the rating was
dry.
low. This is low. God damn, this is just low. Everything is just low right now.
Right, I'm like, is the ratings from this episode pass on to us because we thought we were just chatting. I'm like, it's never like completely empty. Like this was never. I'm like, oh, is it because
Girl,
it's Friday? You know, are we like?
I was
Is this
sitting
a
here like,
problem? We
yeah.
watching SmackDown, so for all of a sudden, like 20 comments pop up like that, and we was like, wait, what? I don't know. StreamYard had us definitely looking real crazy because they probably was like, oh, they ignored us today. We definitely wasn't, guys. We like there was a nothing. We saw nothing. Okay.
I'm telling you, Jeffrey, I was like, yeah, it got to be that.
Clearly, that was the reason. Clearly, that was the reason. Clearly, he was fucking us today because you know that's what Marty said. So this is what happened. Clearly, they were just fucking with us today. But I mean, yeah, I don't know what happened with the comments. Like StreamYard had us looking real crazy. Like I'm like, oh, is something wrong? Like, did we do something wrong? Did we pick the wrong time to go live? We never had this much of a problem. So it wasn't us. Yay for you guys being there, yay! But also, StreamYard had us looking real crazy. Like y'all probably was like, why they not saying anything to us? Because we didn't know y'all was there. You know,
like they invested in this story.
Right? Like, oh, they want to tell the story this week. They want to talk to us. We really, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what was happening. We got kind of looking real crazy. But yeah, I definitely do think this was, you know, definitely a nice way to end off the season. I'm now curious because I keep saying that Vice is like going bankrupt. I keep hearing that every few months that they're going bankrupt. I don't know how true that is. I think it's clearly I don't know why it's UPR, and I stand by. I never have an issue when I'm doing when we're doing Lord Wrestling Talk. We never have this issue, and it's always on this, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's too many things happening. I don't know. But that was the end of the episode. So Shay, tell everybody where they can find you and what you got happening going on.
You can find me as Shay Sawyer _ on most platforms. You can also catch my Twitch, just Shay Sawyer. I know it's crazy. You can catch me. My next show that I'll be on will be this Sunday. It's the continuation of the challenge, part 2, which I don't even understand why they had a part 2, but they do. And that'll be at, I believe, 10 o'clock. So pull up if you want to talk about reality TV. And then Monday, that Monday right after, a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast, Spotify and Apple. Then you can catch me again Thursday. I almost forgot the day. Thursday for the Rising Sun Rundown. And we'll be talking a little bit more about the Grand Prix because, them girls was throwing. They're tussling. Mina, you're my boo. Nats boy, my boo. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. 7, then you catch me for NXT right here with this beautiful girl here. I hope I'm pointing the right way, right here. And then thank God. But yeah, that's it. That's all you can do. And you catch my dog on my lap as well.
As for me, guys, I am on In Cat We Trust. I do have, like I said, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. A lot going on. Also a mom, so it's like I feel like I'm always doing something. However, with that being said, you can catch me on In Cat We Trust for all things nerdy. And I swear, I keep telling you guys this. I'm totally slacking. I did all these recorded videos and uploaded none of them. I need to upload all these videos because I did quite a few. Totally slacking. And you can also catch me normally on Mondays at 7 for a while with Emily and Stephanie. And then also on Thursdays at 7 to recap NXT with, us, the duo. Fantastic, the bestest duo ever. With like Bianca, EST, the best duo ever. Hello. But but again, guys, we truly appreciate yes, everybody's favorite duo. I feel like of all the duos that be duoing in, it's us. We're like Batman and Robin, maybe. I mean, I feel like, that could be either way. I don't know. Who's some really awesome dude? We like Kane and Undertaker, before we heard them about Mark and Glenn, we were Kane and Undertaker level.
Pretty deadly. How about that? That's a good one.
You know what? We can definitely, we can do Pretty Deadly. We who has some Team Bad, whatever it is. We're the DX of We're the DX of the first DX. The Shawn and Shawn and Triple H. We're the DX of duos. We can't be the Rockers, but you saw how it would happen to the Rockers. We can't be the Marty. Yeah, we can't do that. We can't be Marty.
Then we gotta talk about who's Marty, and I don't want to. Whoa.
We don't want to be insulting or nothing. You don't want to do that. So we're definitely not. We're not going to be Marty and Shawn, but we can be Shawn and Triple H. We can do that. So,
exactly.
We like the Sailor Moons. We all that. We like the Naruto and Sasuke. We're all that. Okay, the duos, fantastic duos, everywhere. Okay, but we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us because we didn't know you guys was here. I feel like we have to make a couple of clips because I feel like we got about that for like 5 minutes. The fact that we was I don't know, StreamYard. I'm about to write a letter or send a couple of tweets because y'all got us looking real crazy on YouTube and Twitch. But guys, we